So, you're thinking about moving to Beaverton, Oregon. You're not quite sure whether or not it's the place for you. Don't worry, I've got you in this video. I've put together a list of some pros and cons to help you decide whether it's the right place for you. We've helped hundreds of people move inside and outside of Beaverton, Portland, Oregon, wherever it is. So if you guys have any questions regarding selling, buying, please give us a call, let us know, drop a comment. Other than that, let's get started. Okay, so for pro number one, of course, we have to start with the parks, of course, where I'm at. Right now, I'm at Highland Nature Park. In Beaverton, there are a total of 90 different parks, right? That is a total of about 1,500 acres of total open greenery space. Some of these parks are similar parks like these with the very vast amount of greenery and forest areas and trails. Other parks have more of like an urban feel where you can kind of bring your kids and family. They've got playgrounds and play structures. So that's certainly something to check out as well. Now, some of those larger parks would be like Tualatin Hills, Cooper Mountain Nature Park. Those are going to be like over 200 acres each of just open greenery space. And then, of course, this one as well, which I mentioned, Highland Park as well. The pro that I'd like to point out is that in Beaverton, it has one of the top school districts in Oregon. There's about 52 different schools within the school district, 38,000 kids, and then within the kids to teacher ratio, that puts 18 kids for every one teacher per classroom. Both my parents are teachers, so I know how important it is to like have a smaller classroom size and not have like 30 plus 40 kids in a classroom. So having a 1 to 18 ratio in that classroom is certainly important as well. Of course, most of the majority of the teachers, I want to say over 90% of the teachers, have 3 years of experience, if not more. And then in the Beaverton School District in general, it's got just above a 90% graduation rate. I want to say it's 90.5%. So yeah, school districts here in Beaverton are certainly a plus. Okay, so another pro that I want to talk about is the job market overall here in Beaverton. Right now, I am in Beaverton Town Square. You can see right here, there's all sorts of restaurants and whatnot that you can eat on. And then behind me, you've got other retail jobs and sectors, Fred Meyer's, Kohl's, Safeway, and other things like that. And then, of course, not just within retail is there as well, but there are other professional jobs that are here as well, such as healthcare. You've got OHSU, Oregon Health Science, Oregon Health Science University. And they've got all sorts of professionals there. Of course, for the healthcare, they've got the Nike headquarters is here. Adidas is also here, Columbia. And then there's another one as well. Teachers, the education sector here as well, like just within teachers. They do get paid a little bit higher here in Oregon than, say, in other states as well. So education is also strong here as well. So another pro that we're going to talk about here in Beaverton is the food. Overall, here in Beaverton, you can find just about any type of ethnic group or food group that you're looking for. Here in Beaverton Town Square, there are plenty of Mexican restaurants, Italian, Asian restaurants, just about anything that you could think of. Texas barbecue, of course, you got to have that American food. Hot dogs, hamburgers, then of course you've got your boring fast food as well. But for overall pro, it's gonna be food. Okay, so next up on the list is going to be shopping for pros. In Beaverton, there's about 10 or 11 different like shopping centers, shopping areas that you could shop at. They range anywhere from like just retail areas to only restaurants and whatnot. And then of course you've got a little bit of a mix. Right here behind me in Beaverton Town Square, you've got all the restaurants right behind me on this side. And then you've got some shopping areas behind me. You've got Fred Meyer's, some nail salons areas for the girls and the family. And then of course on the other side of this street over here, you've got like professional areas, dentistries, healthcare environments. This is just one of the shopping centers here in Beaverton. Okay, so for this pro, we'll be talking about the neighborhoods. In Beaverton, there's about 11 different neighborhoods just within Beaverton. They all range from either more of an urban feel environment and have things that are close next to like retail stores. Other have quiet neighborhoods and quiet environments. Some are obviously more quiet than others. Now, if you truly do want like the true suburban feel, then I would suggest either looking in like Highland Heights, West Beaverton and or Forest Heights as well. Those are some of the more like true urban environments. For the next pro, we'll talk about the overall proximity in Beaverton. So Beaverton's about 15-20 minutes away from Portland, not too far. You've got all the jobs over there. Some people live here, work over there. It's just not too far. And then, of course, for proximity, you've got the beach, which is about an hour and a half away, the mountain, Mount Hood, ski resorts, the desert, all pretty much 4 seasons within an hour and a half, 2 hours away at the most. Okay, so next we're going to chat about the overall homelessness in Beaverton. This is a pro in my eyes. So in Beaverton, that is considered part of Washington County. Most of Portland is part of Multnomah County. In Multnomah County, you're going to have at least on average 6,000 homeless people who are homeless like per night on average, and that's in Multnomah County. In Washington County, on the other hand, it's going to be about 1,000 people, a little bit less than 1,000 on average, who are homeless per night. Of course, that's going to vary, but that's within Beaverton. So in my eyes, just because it is lower than the vast majority of Portland, it's certainly a pro. Okay, so next up on the list for pros is going to be the new construction in Beaverton. There's plenty of new construction places and builds that are coming all over the place. So of course you still have the older homes and whatnot that you can choose from, similar of a neighborhood that I'm in here. And then of course you've got the newer construction homes that are brand new, of course. You can add your finishing touches to it, add a little customization to it, and just about anything. So that does, because on the west side, the pricing is a little bit higher than say on the east side, but because there also is some more boom on the west side, such as Beaverton, that does help combat housing prices in general, which does lead me to my additional pro, which housing prices. So they are a little bit more favorable here than say in other places, as far as like what you're getting for your dollar for just your typical single family, 3-bed, 4-bed, 2-bath, whatever it is. You're going to be getting a little bit more bang for your buck in Beaverton. If you're wanting like a nicer neighborhood, homelessness is a little bit down than say more on the east side. So as far as like what you're getting as far as a bang for your buck, Beaverton is definitely a good place. So for me, that's going to be a pro. Okay, so by this point, you're probably wondering, Lucas, this is a lot of pros. Where are the cons at? You're just telling me all the good parts of the city. Don't worry, I promise you there's some flaws about Beaverton as well. If you ask any of the locals, or most of the locals, I should say, in Portland, the biggest thing that you will hear that they'll say like for a con for Beaverton is the overall character. A lot of people say that the homes here in Beaverton lack character. There's no personality. They're boring. They all kind of look the same. As you can see here, there's that blue one right behind me. And then you've got just another similar tan one here as well. And there was, a similar one just back here or back there. And then of course down this way as well, you've got another similar home, all similar layout, but it really just depends on what neighborhood you're in, whether they've got similar not infrastructure, but architecture or other things as well. So make sure to give us a call, shoot us a text, a DM, email, say, hey, we do want all cookie cutter homes. Either we don't, and we'll make sure to point you in the right place. I'm always curious as to what people say about the weather here in Portland or Oregon, just in general. I'm actually walking down a hill right now. There's a park right over here. But I'm always curious to see or hear what people have to say about the weather here in general. I'm sure you hear that it rains a lot and that it's mostly gloomy and cloudy skies. It is right now. And while yes, all of that is true, with the majority of it, we get about like 8 to 9 months of not necessarily rain, but just like gloomy gray skies today. I think it rained a little bit this morning, but not too much. We're at like the end of March. Earlier this year, it was snowing. We'll maybe get about maybe like 2 or 3 days of snow each year. Not too bad. But when that does happen, the whole city shuts down. It is not fun. It's actually kind of annoying. And even if there's like a little hint of snow that we're going to get snow, almost all of the school districts get shut down. So that's, you know, free snow day for the kids. But for the weather overall, it is pretty gloomy. We do get some sunshine here and there in between, but really when the real sun comes is going to be from like June to September. So that's a con for weather. And while we're still at this park, I figured I may as well cover walkability features in Beaverton. And Beaverton, that's going to be a con. As far as walkability, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for walkability upon like retail stores or coffee shops, if you're used to like kind of a close-knit neighborhood or small town, small market neighborhood, similar to how it is in like Northeast, Southeast Portland, Beaverton is not that place. You're gonna have to take your car and probably drive, you know, 5-10 minutes, not too long, just to like go to a coffee shop or whatever. But within the walkability, you're gonna have like a lot of places like this within these within Beaverton, like parks. So if this is something you're looking for, then great, that's gonna be a pro. But if you're looking for more of like retail stores and things like that, where you can kind of just like go onto your house, walk to the local Trader Joe's grocery store, pick up some bread and food for the kids, whatever it is, walk on home, Beaverton's probably not going to be the place for you. But that's going to be a con in my book. For you, maybe it's a pro. And while we're covering pros with walkability and whatnot, I figured I'd cover the commute as well while I'm still here. With commute, this is definitely going to be a pro no matter what. The traffic congestion here in Beaverton actually gets pretty bad, at least comparatively with how much infrastructure there is and how many people there are. The roads just aren't the best, especially when it gets to like rush hour. I-84, I-5, Sunset Highway, those are all get really clogged. And then some of those even start to bleed out to the west side, Beaverton being the one and not the only one. But right, like if you're not having to deal with any traffic, it's going to be about like 15 to 20 minutes to Portland, maybe 25 depending on where you're at. If you're dealing with traffic on top of that, you're probably going to deal with an additional, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes. So it could double your time. So something to think about as well, but you are fairly close to Portland in the meantime. All right, for the last and final con of the video, we're going to cover taxes. So taxes based upon home values and property values on the west side over here in Washington County, going to be a little bit more expensive than other sides, say on the east side. So they're going to be a little bit more expensive. Those taxes go towards essential needs, schools and whatnot. You guys know about that. Although what I will say is that in Portland, and I believe Beaverton's included in this as well, is that there are special taxes specifically geared to schools, but then also art programs and even to help cover some homeless needs as well, even though that they are a little bit lower in Washington County as well. So for taxes, they're a little bit higher than say in other counties, but that's going to be a con overall. Alrighty guys, well there you have it, the pros and the cons of living here in Beaverton. You can see some duckies here. We are over at Commonwealth Lake right now, but if you guys are interested, wanting to see more videos like this, have any questions, thoughts, or concerns about specific neighborhoods, or just anything about the real estate market, drop a comment, leave a like. Don't hesitate to reach out, give us a call. We'll make sure to connect with you some way or another. But until then, I'll see you next time.